also welcome to this month's weather briefing. I am Minna Haikonen and I'm going to tell you about the present weather situation. And after that, my colleague Ida is going to give you an overview to the rarely cold spring that we have had up here north for the past couple of months. First, I would like to know a little bit about all of you. Mark this below the map where your questions are, where you're taking from to this session. And if you also could place a mark on one of the boxes, if you are a forecaster, researcher, manager, trainer, or if you have some other meteorological interests while you are participating to this weather briefing. I see that we have 30 attendees, and it's really nice to see that there are so many of you. And as I assume that many of you are many forecasters, some researchers, and I guess a couple of managers and trainers also. So let's continue to the actual briefing now. First, I show you an air mass RGB image from yesterday morning. And could you please mark the areas with dry and sinking air masses when you look at the image? And also, if you can identify also the warm and cold air masses, you could mark them also, maybe the warm air masses with W's and cold air masses with C. I guess, in my opinion, this is not the easiest image to interpret. Yes, we have dry sinking air masses here with red colors. Also here. And here. And also here. Here we can see clearly warm tropical and moist air mass with a greenish color. And here we can see some cold air masses up north. And I guess this area is also warm, although it seems quite bluish. So I think this is a bit hard image to interpret partly. The next picture is the same air mass RGB, but with 500 hectopascal geopotential height. And as you see, the low pressure activity is really high, and we have several deep, high level, low pressure areas around Europe. Here, here, here. And a strong throw is affecting the weather in Western Europe, here. And there is basically just one high pressure ridge reaching from the Mediterranean to northeast, causing this dry and clear area down here. And here is the ECMWF 850 hectopascal temperature field from the same time as the last images. And we can clearly see that the air masses are mostly warm, except up here north. In Finland, our daily average temperatures are several degrees lower than averagely in this time of year. On the other hand, in Central Europe, here there are really warm and moist air masses coming from south. This is the water vapor image, and now I ask you to place the jet streams on the map with the drawing tools. Yes, here we can see one strong jet. Yes, really good. And also, can you spot any really interesting areas in this water vapor image that we should maybe have a closer look into? Thank you. So let's proceed to the next picture. Here are the 300 hectopascal isotax also, and we have had a quite classic and interesting situation in Central Europe going on yesterday. There was a really warm and moist southerly airflow coming from the Mediterranean Sea and a frontal zone approaching from west. And as you can see, the jet stream is crossing the frontal zone, here causing the favorable unstable situations for CB and NCS formation in the here, as many of you spotted these interesting areas in the water vapor images. Here are the warnings that were issued yesterday throughout Europe, and as you see, there were several warnings about heavy precipitation and thunderstorms in Central Europe, especially, for example, in Germany, with even the highest level. And it would be really interesting to hear if there were any severe happenings caused by these thunderstorms. Are there any attendees who are living close to these interesting areas? So I guess maybe after the session we can hear about this situation a little bit more, if there is someone who has some interesting information about this yesterday's happenings. Okay, I see there was a downburst in Berlin, for example. Also heavy thunderstorms north of Hamburg. Yeah. And also a couple of days ago there was really interesting case in Moscow, in Russia also, with really heavy downburst also that caused severe damages in Moscow area. the next slide, I took a sounding observation from Lindeberg for UTC yesterday, and if we compare the two satellite images, the day natural color RGB and the convective storms RGB, we can see how much better the high and cold cloud tops stand out in the convective storms RGB than in the natural color RGB. And as you see from the sounding, the situation was really favorable for this really strong convective activity to form in this area. So here in Finland, the weather situation wasn't that interesting, but I have a quite classic example of a warm front approaching from southwest with increasing cloudiness. At 6 UTC in Helsinki, the sky was almost clear with only some small altocumulus clouds, and Helsinki is situated right about here. And in further west, we can see some increasing cloudiness here. And in the next picture at 9 UTC, we can see some nice cirrus clouds and the altostratus cloud approaching from west here. And finally, 12 UTC, the sky is fully cloudy with altostratus, but the sun is still slightly shining through the cloud curtain. And further away, we can already see the nimbostratus cloud approaching here. And about 3 hours later, it started to rain in Helsinki. And again, Helsinki is right about here. And I guess this is quite classic example when a warm front approached from southwest, and the webcam images shows nicely how the cloudiness started to increase during the day, indicating the upcoming precipitation area. And the question next is what is going to happen next, because the synoptic situation here up north doesn't look very promising. And from the water vapor image from today, 12 UTC, we can see that the cold drop is flowing down over north of Scandinavia, and we can say goodbye to the summer that just got started here in southern Finland. And the jet streams are placing themselves on the southern side of Finland. And the cold northerly airflow covers most of the Scandinavia for at least the following few days. And the last slides are here for the next 4 days. ECMWF's analysis, here we have the 300 hectopascal wind field and also 850 hectopascal temperature field. And as you can see, the next 4 days don't look that promising for us here in Finland. We already had a really cold spring, and we sure hope not to have a really cold summer as well. So this was all that I had in my presentation, and now I give the word to Ida. So thank you from my behalf. Hello everyone, this is Ida speaking, and thank you very much, Minna, for the weather briefing. And now I can talk to you about a little bit about the really cold spring we have had in Finland. So let's take another presentation. One moment, please. Okay, so let's see if we have, yes, so here are my presentation. So let's take a look at the really cold spring in Finland. So the winter months were relatively mild in Finland and also in other Scandinavian countries. And the March was still quite mild, but after that, in April and May, we have had colder air, and this can be seen from this picture where we have the mean temperature anomaly in Finland so far in 2017, marked with the black line over here. And then we also have with the red and blue bars the daily temperature anomaly. So, and the red indicates warmer than average and blue colder than average temperature anomaly. So as we can see from this picture, so we had like a 1 week period in January which was colder than average, but then after that basically all other weeks of January and February and March were mild and warmer than in April, and in May we have had colder than average temperatures. So let's first take a look at a closer look at April this year. So we had approximately 1 to 2 degrees colder than average temperatures. In some parts of Lapland, also the temperature difference was even bigger, from 2 to 4 degrees. So as we can see from this picture with the mean temperatures in Finland in April 2017, here's the temperature was approximately 2 degrees in the south and below 0 in the northern parts of the country. Similar multi-temperatures in April we last time had in 2013 in southern Finland, in the middle parts of the country in 2003, and way up in the north, the last time was about 20 years ago in 1998. So it was, especially in the north, it was really cold April. Rainfall amounts were also greater than average in April. Some parts of the country even had twice as much rain as average. Many low pressures affecting our weather, and well, maybe many of you know, so the spring is usually quite dry, or it is the driest season in Finland, but the April wasn't that dry. But yes, then at the end of the month, we had high pressure and northerly flow with Arctic air flowing to Scandinavia and also in Finland, which resulted in cold period. And actually, that cold period also lasted in the beginning of the May, and the northerly flow brought us really cold air. And here in this picture, we have the preliminary results of the mean temperature anomalies in May. So this has been run today, but we still have to wait for the for the final results today's temperature, so we can see it only tomorrow. But here are the temperature anomalies marked with numbers. So the bluish shades indicate colder than average temperatures. So basically the whole country has been, all the temperatures in the whole country has been below average. And the dark blue values marked this one, and these three over here are records. So in those stations, there may have been record cold in 5 stations. And then we had about a 1 week period with a bit warmer air, and we managed to have one day, which was the 19th of May, with temperature over 25 degrees, which is a big thing in Finland, but only one day. And when we compare to the last year's May, we had 6 days with temperatures over 25 degrees, so not that warm. But when, as I said earlier, April was quite rainy in some parts of the country, but May has been rather dry. There actually has been very little rain in some parts of the country, and some of it also as snow. So we have had some forest fires, but luckily nothing that too serious. And then here's also a picture presenting the temperature in the 850 hectopascal anomaly from during the cold period from mid-April to mid-May. And as we can see, there's a clearly negative anomaly in Scandinavia when compared to the 1981 between 2010 normal period. So we in the Finland and also the other Scandinavian countries and part of the Central and Western Europe were in the colder spot, but then there were milder temperatures or positive anomalies were the south. And because we have the rarely cold spring, the snow cover or the snow season was also a bit longer than average. So we still had, today we have still snow in some parts of the Lapland. So this is the snowpack observations made today in the morning. And the maximum snowpack is in Kilpisjärvi, 70 centimeters. But actually, it isn't that uncommon to have snow in some parts of Lapland at the end of the May because of it's up north and also there are some hills and so on. But what is uncommon is that we also have had snow showers in the southern parts of the country. And the cold northerly flow also created a lot of showers with snow, especially in May. And here in this picture we have the radar image from 10th of May, and it's 10 UTC, so it's 1 p.m. local time. And as you can see, there are a lot of convective cells kind of like everywhere in the country. But there are still some not convective area, especially over here. And actually, I have a question for you all. Do you have an idea why or which caused the dry area in over here? You can write it maybe in the chat box, please. Okay, so you, yes, thank you. So you said something about mountain areas or lake sink effect. Yes, there actually isn't any mountains over here, but these are with the lake sink effect, yes, but no, it's not even a blind area in the radar, but actually it was caused by a stratus cloud which hung on later in the afternoon, and it kind of like stopped the convective or the convective cells forming. So it was due to stratus cloud. And then at the end, I just want to, as Minna spoke to you earlier, it doesn't look so promising for us in the north with the temperatures in the coming weeks. So the northerly flow seems to bring us some more cold air, and the colder than average temperatures seem to continue. So here's the ECMWF temperature anomaly for this week, and as you can see, we are here in the blue area with colder than average temperatures, but as you already wrote down earlier, you have some nice summery temperatures in the southern and middle parts of Europe, so I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. And actually today's maximum temperature in the whole country has been so far been only 13.2 degrees, and which is quite low. And actually a year ago, in the same day, we had 27.7 degrees, so a big difference. But it's very common in Finland to have a lot of temperature differences between years. Thank you. If you have any questions, or either to me or to Minna, please, you can ask now.